Okay, Poppa's House fans, the show is back with episode 14. There are hang on, 15, 16, 17, 4 episodes left. Yeah, this was a good one. Well, no, I'm sorry. This was a great one. 10 out of 10. Marlon Wayans was in the show portraying Melvin, Pop's brother, which does help because of the fact that, well, Marlon and Damon are brothers in real life, and he really is Junior's uncle in real life, so the chemistry was there. And come on, how many movies has Marlon and oh man, I can't even. I'm trying to count. I'm literally trying to come up with the number here, but yeah, the amount of movies that Marlon and Essence have been in together. I can't even count off the top of my head, but I know there's like, what was it, the haunted house? Then the wasn't there a movie on Netflix? I think there was. I forgot. But yeah, these two have been in so many projects here. Their chemistry is still, on point. And man, to me, Essence is almost like an honorary Wayans by the amount of different Wayans projects she's been in. But yeah, this was a funny episode. I think one of my favorite gags was the sleight of hand magic. My favorite moment was when I guess Melvin stole Pop's glasses and put them on Nina. I was like, why can't I see that? I rewound that part like 8 times. It was hilarious. But in any case, Melvin is a con artist. I mean, this episode was pretty simplistic, but the chemistry between the family members, it just sold it for me. It really did. So Melvin comes into town and he's trying to do his usual get rich quick scheme. Essentially, he's trying to put together some sort of app. Imagine DoorDash or Uber Eats, but for therapists, where basically anybody in need can have a therapist come right to their home. And he's trying to get Dr. Ivy and Junior to invest, basically because Junior idolizes him. And I think it goes without saying that based off of what Pops has told his brother about Dr. Ivy, that's how Melvin came up with this scheme in the first place. That's what makes the most sense to me, because it just so happens you come up with an idea for a specific app, which just so happens to align with the career path of the woman that Pops has been telling you about for the past few weeks or months or however long it's been. So, as Melvin is about to show up, Pops is, warning, Junior and everybody else about how, look, the dude's a con man. He stole like my first watch I bought when I was a kid or a teenager. What was it? It wasn't gold. It was just brass and left a green ring around his wrist, but it was his. And he hasn't let that go. But as soon as Melvin comes in, because he's like, oh, I bet he's going to come in here with a tracksuit on and a young thing on his arm, coming up with some excuse as to why he didn't come, without any gifts or anything like that. But he comes in the house with a suit and a bottle of wine that he says is $200, but Pop says it's only $2 because he looked at the label closely. And he pretty much, has his moment with his nephew and then goes over to Professor Ivy and starts, flirting or Dr. Ivy and starts, flirting with her. So he pretty much, explains his app idea, which Pops immediately shuts down. And you got Junior, who's just, oh, you're a dream killer. So that leads to a coffee, not necessarily a date, but a coffee meeting with the good doctor, trying to persuade her to invest in his business. But the red flag came about when Melvin said, oh, thanks for the coffee. Wait, you're the one who asked me to coffee. Oh, yeah, I only got Bitcoin, and I don't think they accept that here. So Dr. Ivy knows off the rip that, yeah, I'm not investing in this company. Pops is right about you. Then from there, he tries to pitch his, idea plan to Junior. And he's like, I only got like, what, $10,079. Well, I only need $10,000. So he tells Nina, who basically shoots it down because, look, I'm with your dad on this one. It just seems like this is a terrible idea that it's just going to blow the money. It's like, well, hey, I'm not using the kids' money. I'm using my money by selling my anime collection. And as someone who has a huge collection of things that I sell to make a living on the side, I can relate to Junior. I mean, yes, I have a lot of stuff that I sell on my eBay store and whatnot, but in the in my closet that's in my office here where I record my content, That's pretty much my personal collection. Stuff that's very high end. And if I sold it, yeah, I can make a pretty penny. But to see this man pull out his tub of stuff, his storage bin, which I have dozens of, by the way, full of stuff, it just, I ain't gonna lie, my heart kind of ached for Junior in that moment because I can relate selling stuff. Whereas I remember like one time I had this, what card was it? I think it was a Charizard card. Yeah, it was a chase card from that Shining Fate set. It was basically a Shining Charizard card, and I had to sell it because it was like $500, and I needed to do it because I needed a new set of tires for my car. But that's the beautiful thing about having a collection of stuff like that, where if you need a good amount of money really quick, fast thing you need to do is put it on eBay. So he sold his stuff, came up with the money, and Pops pulled his brother to the side, or essentially invited him over to the house, and just like a sibling does, Pops made himself a sandwich, went over to the fridge, and as soon as his brother comes in and sees the food, what does he do? Sits down and eat it. And as my sister, oh man, comes over to the house sometimes, what's the first thing she does? Open the refrigerator cabinet, seeing what she could eat. I'm like, this ain't no grocery store. So so they pretty much have a conversation where Pops is just saying, look, you need to be real with Junior. He idolizes you, and I don't want to see you play him. Not just because he's my son, but because he's your nephew, and we never hustle blood. Basically, don't let me or Sir down. Essentially, Sir is what they, call their dad, as opposed to mentioning his first name. And Melvin feels some kind of way because of the fact that he felt like the less favorite son due to the fact that, he's a hustler, whereas Pops is the one who did things by the straight and narrow. And later on, Melvin has to sit down with Junior, and he has the money. He has the $9,900 because he sniffed that $100 was missing until Junior's like, gotcha. So he pretty much tells his uncle that, hey, you know what? I did some checks on the app and came up with some statistics and whatnot, because obviously this is a scam. But Melvin was shocked that his nephew literally had, facts and figures right in front of him, because, yeah, we're business partners. So he's trying to be honest with his nephew. But then when he eventually says, well, yeah, the app isn't an app, is actually something else I'm putting together. I think he said like SAP, SAP. Essentially, he was going to try to, get his nephew to take this money, will start a business, then go bankrupt. So basically play the system, so to speak, which could lead to a couple years in jail. But yeah, Junior isn't down for it. And thankfully, his uncle doesn't take the money. So that was good. I'm going to be completely honest here. The way I thought this was going to play out was that after Junior had the conversation with his uncle, because I think he left the money on the coffee table and then he walked out of the house to go over to his dad's. I thought that when he went over there and went back to his house, not only would his uncle be gone, but the money would be gone as well. That's what I thought was going to happen, but no. But basically, Pops tells him the story about how Sir, or Mr. Sir, didn't like either one of them. But he said, like, yeah, when I got my first job at 12, he said, split the check with your mom. And as soon as I was on my way home after I got paid, I saw, street game. Basically, hey, what was it? Black ball, red ball, 3 different cups. And if you find the red one, you win money. But if you hit black, you lose. So essentially, he put $20 on it and lost. And then his dad hit him with wisdom, which is the name of his belt. And he gave the money to his mom, and he only had $1 left to last until the next payday. So from that point on, he never gambled. But, his brother heard that story, and what did he do? He became a hustler on the street. So that's essentially how different they are. But Melvin comes by to say goodbye to his brother. It turns out he actually kept the watch the entire time, hoping that some of his brother's positive influence would rub off on him. But Pops lets him keep the watch, and he's going to Brazil to do some stuff for Bitcoin or whatever. But yeah, it was just a funny way to end the episode, kind of heartwarming as well. So even better than that is Pops actually went online and he bought back Junior's collection. And as someone who sells on eBay, I can completely relate. Yeah, I bought all your stuff back because somebody was selling it again, but extremely undervalued. So I just love that moment that Pops would do it for his son. So I thought that was really cool of him to do. So yeah, great episode. Like I said, there's only 4 more left until the end of the season. I hope the rest of the season finishes strong. And when the show does come back for season 2, well, I might review a couple episodes. Let me put it this way. I don't know if I'll review every single episode of season 2 since my season 1 content isn't doing so hot. I want to be completely honest with you. I'm only finishing up season 1 out of, hey, why not? It's only 20-minute bite-sized episodes. Let me go ahead and do it. So, yeah, we'll just have to wait and see how things turn out. But like and subscribe. Please watch the other Poppa's House videos content. And if you don't watch Poppa's House, well, check out the Beyond the Gates content because, that playlist is doing pretty okay. The show is getting better and better, and I can't wait to get some feedback. So, with that being said, I'll catch you all in the next video.